Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to look at down dog, how to do it, and 5 of the common problems that I see in downward facing dog. Alright, let's go. So for downward facing dog, the standard way to come into this is from hands and knees. Now as you find your hands and knees, spread the fingers nice and wide. So you want to feel the fingers really spreading from the pinky finger to the thumb. Spreading them nice and wide, tucking the toes under and lifting the navel up towards the ceiling so that the hips lift and you end up in this kind of inverted V shape. The heels can descend to the floor, the legs perhaps somewhat straight with a little soften into the knees. You want to feel that the legs are rolling inwards towards each other and the upper arms are rolling inwards towards each other, so that you can really allow some weight into this little L shape here between the hands. And that's downward facing dog. So let's look at 5 common challenges that we can see in downward facing dog. The first major challenge that we see in down dog is that the hands and the feet are too close together, which ends up being a short dog. And that looks somewhat like this. So it ends up being like a cross between down dog and forward fold. And what we want to do then is from down dog to be able to float forward into plank. And you can see here that my hands are way too behind my shoulders. So we have to have the feet and the hands a nice big distance away from each other so that we can lift the hips and be nice and long in our down dog so that we can then float forward into plank. Okay, so the second challenge that we see in downward facing dog is that the heels don't want to connect to the floor. Okay, so now here's the aha moment. Don't force them. So I have some nice dorsiflexion here in the ankles, which means that my toes and my shins are kind of close towards each other. If that's not available for you, and that could just be that that's your structure, let the heels lift. But feel a downward energy towards the floor. You're not lifting them up and coming onto the balls of the feet. There's this downward energy through the back of the legs. So the next little challenge here is it's sometimes quite intense for the back of the thighs in the hamstrings. So if that is your challenge in downward facing dog, if you want to make it a little bit more accessible, I suggest bending the knees. Either the heels connect to the floor or they don't, but just soften the knees. So, softening the knees or bending the knees is actually one good solution for our next issue. So, another common problem that I see in downward facing dog is a lack of hip flexion. A lack of the pelvis moving over the head of the femur. So that will look something like this. So soften the knees, see if that can help lift the pelvis, and see if you can raise the sit bones up, drawing the navel to the spine and then push away, and even, if possible, take the dog longer. So one more little tip here on downward facing dog is for my super bendy people. So what can happen with super bendy people is that they can find themselves too deep in a downward facing dog, which looks something like this. Instead, activate through the abdominals, lengthen and even round here through the upper back so that you can be stable. It's not about getting the chest as close to the floor as possible. Okay, it's about stabilizing. It's a resting posture. You don't want to feel if you're super bendy. Okay, so I hope those tips helped. If you tried them, then leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, if you have any other issues that you're dealing with in downward facing dog, let me know below in the comments. Otherwise, give me a like for some instant karma. Don't forget to subscribe and share, and I will see you next time. Bye.